Welcome to the walkthrough of the iMedX Healthcare Analytics and Revenue Cycle Solution. Thank you for your time today. I'm Sean Fry and I'm the Chief Innovation Officer here at iMedX. I'm the primary architect of our solution. I believe it's important to share up front that I'm a former hospital CIO who had many of these responsibilities, and I deeply identify with the same frustration as you with regard to the complexity and even futility at times of managing our RCM data. As it pertains to the relationship to the financial and clinical health information, this is often subrogated into multiple operating systems, multiple databases, and it becomes very difficult to reconcile. What iMedX Analytics platform allows you to do is get that data into the most usable format as quickly as possible. What I'd like to demonstrate today, as concisely as possible, is how our solution substantially reduces that complexity and the dysfunction and allow you to show an immediate impact on both clinical operations and financial performance without the significant investment of cash, labor, time, or a major IT integration because of the methodology in which we use. The first thing we want to show you is our ability to just work with your most valuable data, the data that you exchange with the payers through the 837 process, 835 process, and our iMedX solution harvests all that information, brings it directly into the system and platform, and you can actually view the complexity of this data, and I'd like to show you one example of what a file like this would look like. This is a typical 837 data, and as you can see here, most of the data exchanged with payers is a very reduced instruction set, very complex, and not usable to the layman. It's not going to be beneficial to many people in your central business office, but if you understand and master this data, our analytics process allows you to use that data to drive clinical operations, financial performance, patient accounting, and all the critical services. So what did we do with this data? Once we imported it, it allows us to create a workable database. So you could find every single patient and search it just as if you were working in your primary database. Search by last name, first name, medical record number, social security number. All the elements are there because you have a working record of each individual patient, already created, recreated, simply through the data you exchange with payers, and what you're looking at is a clean record of how your claims have been adjudicated by the payers, which is oftentimes obfuscated by what exists in your current patient accounting system, your health information system, and this allows us a great level of utility. We can even, as we re-import this data, re-verify benefits, look at individual line item denials, take a total balance view, and actually look at all the various snippets of information that are most valuable to you. But what we would want you to do immediately upon accessing this information is let us classify it for you in WorkQueues. WorkQueues are the fastest return, fastest bang on the buck, and allows you to show you where your AR dollars and denied dollars, underpayments, and other unrealized revenue for services you've already provided exists. In these WorkQueues, we are allowed to define them by category, completely configurable based on CART code, denial type, all different types of rules that we were going to show you later on that will allow you to build a immediate bolt-on system. You do not have to use this and replace your existing Epic, Cerner, Meditech. It operates on top of your existing platform to minimize your integration. You lose none of the gains, intellectual, business process, or otherwise, by implementing our analytics solution with your current solution. Inside, there are drill downs and all these WorkQueues that shows you all the claims that maintain that WorkQueue, the 448 patient records, encounters that are awaiting patient records, the status of the claim, all this usable data, which you can either export to an Excel spreadsheet and pair out between your existing CBO workers and have them work on it, or you can work it directly through our system and allow you to rebuild those claims with the various adjustments, whatever meets your current compliance and technology footprint capabilities. The WorkQueues allow you to also create very specific status for things typically not worked, like insufficient pay response. These are your underpayments, non-payments, things that constantly sit on pending status, because behind the scenes, once we import all this data, we're able to do a 276 transaction, find out the claim status, and create tickler reports as well as WorkQueues that allow you to go back and make the best use of your time in a constantly changing environment because it changes month to month to month. And once we have imported your key data up to this point, all we need is a consistent string of your 837s and 835s, and this work queue changes concurrently with the workflows necessary within your product. So now that we've completed work queues, I'm going to go on and show you what a more complicated report of how our rules engines would work. These would take a look at these claims as if they were still in-house and they'd not been billed, and they were scrubbed, which would have been proactively had you already had the iMedX solution in place, but it allows you to find key elements, and these are on real claims where there are both ICD-9 and ICD-10 codes on the same claims missing diagnostic codes, multiple ED level charges. There's a whole utility of information we can work based on coding issues, billing issues, front desk, patient access issues, whatever the case may be. In order to do this, once you have this information in the system and you're able to see all the patients, one of the most powerful tools we have is our rules engine. Our rules engine is driven by the ability to manage multiple tenants. You can have professional claims, institutional claims, ASC claims, HOPD claims, all within the same facility, different tax ID, same tax ID, and you can report on those individually or collectively based on payer, a comprehensive view. So you could get a much better look at where your current data status is on actual claim data, not individual reports cobbled together to try to tell a story. This is your actual payment status, financial status of each individual claim at its current time, according to the payer, according to these records. Inside the rules engine, you'll be able to see we're able to add very specific individual records. We track over 4,400 payers. We have a whole library and anthology of rules over time where you could actually meet various correct coding initiative rules, procedure validations where a particular payer will only accept these codes or will no longer accept those codes that coincide with the very specific date in which you would want to implement that rule. I'll give you a quick view to edit and see what the rule looks like. This tells you the rule type, the description, when it goes into place, that it's only for a few of the specific facilities, although it would typically be a comprehensive rule based on the encounter, the insurance type, and how it would be billed. These rules there's an infinite number of add, or, if, then, or, nor rules that allow you to have incredible capacity over all of your data that is a constantly growing intellectual property library that takes advantage of your best and most talented subject matter experts and allows that data to proliferate through all of your various workers, and it's configurable on top of what your existing system has in place. So we're going to move on to the next thing right now, and once we have the data into the system, it's manageable. We can build all the different various rules, and then what we have the capacity to do is build you dashboards so that when you log in, you're able to see, simply by looking at a few basic screens, all of the different where you are with regards to billing status. As you can see, there's a substantial amount of data here, and there's almost $800 million in claims billed. The denial rate of the current claims, how much of the claims that have been billed during this period of time have actually paid, the amount of dollars deposited, and this is all scalable. You can move it back. It goes up to current time, current date, as again, this was all based off real data, but a lot of names have changed. You could shrink the date. It tells you, so you can look at a particular quarter, at a contract transition period, at a Medicare rules period, as the OPPS and IPS rules changes. You'll be able to see a direct financial impact, go back, modify your rules engine, and they are able to better drive your revenue cycle moving forward. Another report I want to show you that I think is important is your Medicare dashboard, as we just break it down to individual Medicare. If Medicare is not right, it's very difficult to operate other types of, you know that there's going to be a broader base of problems. Again, this calculates with Medicare, your expected reimbursement. We also have the ability to model contracts in our system as we put in the different contracts, depending on the amount of time and the complexity of the contract, whether it's reference-based pricing, fee-based pricing, percentage of charges, and able to calculate not just Medicare reimbursement, but the reimbursement for any individual payer, or do analytics for any one individual payer, and give you a comprehensive reporting status moving forward about what we're capable of doing. With the denial rate for this individual payer or collection of payers, average length of stay. Again, this hospital has a long-term care component, so these particular Medicare claims have a longer hold time based on just the revenue cycle for this particular facility. A DRG summary that will tell you your zero reimbursed days. You could take a particular DRG, like say DRG 207, and to be able to take the total number of days in which you were paid for that claim, the total number of days in which you were not paid, and we were able to go back to case management and report that had they managed these days better, we were able to collect more dollars per day based on the analytics we have here of letting you know that help you set staffing ratios, work better with case management. There are many operational issues that I'm not going to cover in this particular demo, but if you want to ask questions about it afterwards, we can get into a great level of detail with regard to the ways that we can improve clinical operations with regard to all aspects of financial and clinical care. Another report I wanted to show that is absolutely critical is our provider scorecard, or most importantly, our provider P&L. This is a highly detailed report that will take a second to load that will tell you every single physician that you have in your facility based on the individual payer. Now, we ran this just on the utilization of the hospital laboratory, how many tests they ordered, the total percentage of claims, total dollars paid. As we go down here, you'll be able to see total number of unique patients they treated. I'll skip a lot of the detail. Average number of tests ordered per patient, average amount paid per claim, cost per test, which was provided by the facility. So we could do a cost of the reagents for a tox test, or we could do the cost of the plate for x-rays, or we can allocate labor time or utility time for the imaging department. All of these tests can be if that information is provided, we can actually go along and calculate the profit and loss by department, including service fees for additional billing, marketing costs, things like that, and able to determine the cost in detail by department that is all reconciled back to the individual physician. So if we wanted to take which are your higher performing physicians in your OR, your higher performing physicians with federal and state payments, your higher performing physicians with managed care, all of these reports can be calculated through our ability to import this data in a comprehensive fashion and report it back to you in a much more usable fashion, which answers the questions that I know I had personally in my hospital, and I'm sure that might be of value to you depending on what your current need status is. If you want to get an idea of the level and depth of rules that we're calculating on, these are the rules that we run on a per claim basis comprehensively after we've managed your data: medical necessity, correct coding initiative, procedure validations. There's a comprehensive list here that I'm not going to get into the detail, but let's say that you will have a much deeper, broader, and more comprehensive look at your existing health data by allowing us to implement analytics and the net yield of dollars that we can accelerate immediately and sustain over the course of time. For the nominal cost of what analytics brings, it brings peace of mind, it brings operational efficacy, it brings economies of scale, and we would love to do a demonstration on your data to show you the impact we could have for your organization at your earliest convenience. My name is Sean Fry. I'm the Chief Innovation Officer at iMedx, and I thank you for your time.